All right. So updates this month. I talk about trainings. Mridul, go ahead. Why? What do we have here?
Fantastic. So yeah, everyone, we have different sort of training. So first one is we have basics training, which happens every day at 11 a.m. UST. You can find that detail on our trainings page. Aditya from our team is sharing the link in the chat. We conduct these trainings every day. It is basic to help you set up your PriceLabs account. Then we also have advanced training and then specific trainings for market dashboard and portfolio analytics products. It is highly recommended, especially if you are just getting started. We just saw some people have joined us in the last 1 month. If you're just getting started, it is very important that you attend these live training, get any of the questions answered.
Exactly. And they're free. And by the way, they're available in 5 languages. So really, really, let's use this opportunity. All right. Today, we'll talk about a few features, talk about notes. We'll talk about market history, a new feature. We'll talk about unmapping. We'll talk about new data around supply and demand. We'll talk about base price history, and we'll talk about the new integrations. All right. So, curious to know here, maybe answer in the comments. When you have something to do, imagine you go to PriceLabs. I know I go to PriceLabs, and sometimes I see something like, oh yeah, I have to remember that, right? I'm curious, how do you do this? How do you remember that you have to take an action within PriceLabs? For example, I try to put this on a sticky note, and usually I lose it. But just in the comments, let us know how do you you want to remind yourself to do something within PriceLabs. How do you do it? How organized are you? Not organized. I'm just curious. And Mridul, if you see some of the answers, can you let me know?
Definitely, we're just waiting for people to write their answers down. My answer is same as you use sticky notes. And yeah, all right. Mikhail says, Siri, remind me to X at Y time. Adrian write notes on their calendar. Yep. So
Right. So the ideas, right? So
calendar, many people do calendar to-do list on.
calendar, is it PriceLabs calendar? Is it Google Calendar? Like I use Google Calendar a lot, for example. So maybe it's in calendar. So what we have released a few weeks ago, I will show you that, is something called Notes. Right. So you may have seen this. Basically, it's on listing level. For each listing, you can take notes. We'll show this. What's new this month? We've improved it in the sense that you can now set a reminder. So like, hey, there's a note on an action, but I can set a reminder to myself so that I can see this, I need to do this, and I can even get an email reminding me to take an action. So even if I'm not within PriceLab, the email gets me to say, hey, get back, you were supposed to do this. And also I'll show you how we can pin something so that if you have lots of notes, you can really put this on top. But let me show you straight into the product, what I mean by this. Let me go here. All right, so let's imagine I'm here on a listing. That's your calendar. You can see on the right-hand side, I have a section called Notes, right? Maybe it's not activated yet. So if not, just go there and activate Notes. And you can see here, I can see all my notes, for example, that I've written. But what's new now is this you could see, right? Again, the example for this note could be, I want to talk about something. Maybe I'm managing 3 listings with my ex. It's my case. I do business with my ex, believe it or not. So sometimes I need maybe to leave a note for my ex, right? And say, so here the message could be, hey, reminder for Sophie, do not change prices for this listing without telling me. Thanks, Paul, right? Obviously, I'm not Paul. There's no real Sophie, but just saying. So imagine if you're even a small property manager, you may, for example, leave instructions to a colleague of yours, right? Or here to a co-owner. So that's kind of handy. But what we have, so that was notes. What we've introduced is something new, right? For example, if I create a note, so let's say, imagine I create a note for this this demo, not for the demo. You can see first, I can just, pin it. If I pin it like this, it would just show up on top here of the notes. So let's imagine I got some notes. I can just pin one that's very important. So probably the person who will go with the calendar could see immediately this, right? Again, if I want Sophie to see what I just, the message, I would pin it. Another thing I want to show this is that if you want to, you can also set a reminder. As I explained, basically it will you can pick a date for the reminder, and it will show in PriceLabs. Also send you an email with for this reminder to tell you to take action. So in a way, for some of us, like using sticky notes, for example, it's a game changer, because not only I can take notes in the right place, because take action in PriceLab within PriceLabs. Number two, I can communicate with somebody else, even if I need to. And number three, so just not talk with myself. And number three, I can set reminders that we sent out of PriceLabs, right? So the right moment to get me to say, hey, you're supposed to do this today. I know you're busy, if you're a host and you have a side, and hosting is a side job, you're super busy, property manager, you're very busy as well. So that's really, really important. We wanted to streamline your workflows, the way you work, to make PriceLabs even more useful to the way you work, your notes, your reminders. If you have any question, again, you can feel free to ask in the Q&A section. We have Aditya and Blas here to reply to any question you may have, and we also could take some questions. We'll take, sorry, some questions in the end. All right, changing tack. So I'm going to quickly go into product, basically, to show you this. You may know neighborhood data, right? On your for each listing, neighborhood data give you some kind of analytics performance, right? You can see for your listing how your listing is doing in a market. For example, here is how the prices of your listing are doing compared with prices of other listings in the market. For prices, for occupancy. What we've added is something pretty nice, is this thing called market history. So market history, I don't know whether you've seen a market dashboard before, but it's sort of a mini market dashboard that we've implemented right into neighborhood data, and that gives you an overview of your market. Yeah. Here, for example, for my listing, I see the last 12 months and what's happening in this market. For example, for four very big metrics, important metrics, right? What was market occupancy over the last 4 months, on average 48%, and here for each month. From July 2024 back to August 2023, for example, I can see the average, the median booking window. I can see the median length of stay, and here the average ADR. Again, and same thing, as I click on the metric, the graph changes. So it's pretty nice because it means you can really have a view of this. And the question you could have, say, what's the market here we're talking about? Well, you have control of this. As you may know, neighborhood data, all the values you see here, are actually controlled by this super fancy button here, current selection. It's very important. Is where you decide on your comparative sets, right? Similar listings. You want this data, your listing to be compared against. For example, here, what we, by default, market history is basically the 350 listings around that listing you're looking at right now, right? So for each of your listing, we build something specific for it. Imagine you have a market dashboard, for example. As you may know, market dashboard is a paid option. But if I have a market dashboard, I can maybe in market dashboard, I create a specific view of my market. For example, I only wanted to see let's say some market dashboard, sorry. I want to see some kind of view. I can call out market dashboard and see, for example, I want only 3 bedrooms in the market, and the 3 bedrooms listed on Airbnb only, right? And that would immediately changes what's the market here, right? What I'm comparing myself against. Okay, so something you said, market dashboard is very useful, but why can't we have just a summary of it? Not all of it, but summary of it or partial of it within my neighborhood data? That's handy. We've made it happen for you. Obviously, it's never as complete as a market dashboard can be, but it's really available for you here, and it gives you a good snapshot for that listing of the last 12 months, either for the 350 listings around it or for a specific view comp set you may want to have from market dashboard. Again, feel free to ask any question about this. Whether you're clear about what comp set is or what market dashboard is, or this kind of things. If it's all clear, fine. If you have questions, we'll take it maybe at the end. But again, there's no bad questions, right? Everything is a good question. All right, and let me proceed now to another part, which is the unmapping. All right, so let me explain what unmapping is basically by going through my screen here. All right. Imagine that you have, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are on Airbnb, right? And some of you also on Vrbo. And as you may know, in PriceLabs, what's possible, you can map your Airbnb listing to your Vrbo listing. What I mean by here is that if you do this, instead of having to update everything once for your Vrbo listing for the same property and then the Airbnb listing for the same property within PriceLabs, you could just like sort of link them, right? Have this what we call parent-child relationship. Just to say, for example, you know what, instead of having to do the work twice, I will do it once. For example, I would say my master listing or parent listing here is Airbnb. And all the changes I will do, it will also happen in my Vrbo listing. And because I make it a child. So I'm not going to explain here what mapping is. There's a great Node.js article. We can go back to it at the end on how to do this. But let's imagine you've mapped one main listing and you have a parent and one or several children. What we just made it clear for you is how you can disconnect this. You may want, again, I'll give you another example. You have a building with 3 apartments. The 3 apartments are the exact same. What you can do, you can say, you know what, I'm just gonna do the pricing once and have a 1 apartment being the main apartment, the parent apartment, and 2 others being the children apartment. If you do this, by the way, as you may know, it's actually cheaper than managing in PriceLabs than managing 3 different listings. So again, saves you time, it's cheaper, no reason not to do it. But imagine that for some reason you want to unmap them. Or for some reason you want to stop synchronizing the parent one. What we able to do, enable. So here you can see, sorry, you can see this first listing here is the parent to this one, which is the child listing. If I decide to stop synchronizing it, we sort of like a stop guard here that kind of tells you, hey, this is the parent listing. Are you sure you want to stop the sync? Do you want to stop the syncing for the child as well? Or do you want to unmap them here? Or do you want to make another one a parent? So we sort of help you as well when it comes to unmapping to understand what the consequences will be and give you other choices. So again, if you've not mapped anything, that's probably not of interest to you. But if you've mapped something and you know you want to unmap at some point, just so you know, we got your back here. We got this new easy tool. All right. And I think that's it for myself for this round. Again, any question, go to the Q&A. Happy to answer your questions. Middle, you want to go next?
Yep, thanks, Theo. Let me just bring my screen up.
Oh, that's cool. I see that Aditya in the comment section, by the way, shared an article on what notes are. That's fantastic. I'm really Team PriceLabs. Thank you so much for helping out.
I know, I love it.
Miguel says he really had that need, and thank you so much for the parent-child relationship. Fantastic. Again, and if you have questions, just ask this in a Q&A. We'll take it, or the team will reply straight away, or we'll take it in the end. Wait, we'll take it away.
Okay, thanks, Tibo. So next up, everyone, we have improved the supply and demand chart in market dashboard. So Tibo talked about market dashboards earlier. Market dashboard essentially tells you extensive data about any market worldwide. You can create custom dashboard, custom report for any market that you want around the globe. What we have done now is we have slightly changed how we calculate the demand metric in that market dashboard. Let me quickly jump and show that in the product. Here you can see I have an example of a market dashboard in Chicago. As I said earlier, market dashboards give you extensive information about average revenue, average RevPAR, average occupancy of that market. And you can choose how you want to compare in that market. So if you want to look at properties with 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, you can customize this comparable set and find information about that market. Now, what we have done in this update is you see this supply and demand chart in the market dashboard. Now, in demand, what we look at going forward is the total number of book nights by default. Okay, so for any month here, you can see how many total number of book nights were present. And in parallel to that, you can see the supply, which is the number of active listings for that period. While this is by default, we still have the option where you can click on the menu here and you can still change this demand. If you still want to say, look at average bookings per listing, what we were showing earlier, you can still go and check that out. I saw that I showed you the data we have right now on my screen is monthly. You can again go back and change that to weekly as well. Plus, we have also added the option to download this data in a CSV format.
Yeah, and to chime in here, indeed, right? I think before we had the data, but we've talked with you guys, and you said, instead of being weekly, can it be monthly? Because it's how we look at the data. It makes sense, make reports as well. Average bookings per night was nice, but it was it's useful, but to really measure, to have an idea of demand, the total book nights in the market seem to be more sense for you. So exactly as Windows said, it's still available, but we put forward this. So basically somebody tells you, I want to have an idea of the demand and the supply in a market. Or if you have, for example, if you're a party manager, you have to talk with an owner and you have to explain to them how the market is evolving. These are two graphs are fantastic, right? I need to tell my owner, look how, how many more listings there's in the heart of Chicago here in less than 2 years, and look at the demand. So demand has gone up at least, right? But it's it's probably not as much. All right,
So,
thanks, Phil.
yeah, thanks, Tigo. Thanks for adding that. So yeah, for those who have not tried Market Dashboard, you can give it a shot. You can find it in the market research section here on the top right corner in your account. Moving on, next up, we have made a slight change in the multi-calendar. So now in multi-calendar, you can see the history of base price. So you can track how you have changed your base price in the past. Let me show that. I think it would make more sense then. So some of you may be using multi-calendar. Multi-calendar is essentially a place where if you're managing a large number of properties, we saw in the poll results that there are some people with high number of properties as well. If you're doing that, you may be using multi-calendar or you can try using multi-calendar. Multi-calendar essentially gives you an overview of information of all of your listings at a single place, right? So as you can see on my screen, I have data for all of my listings at a single place. What we have done now is we have added an option to see base price change history. So to do that, I can just go to a listing. Let's say I take this example, click on the three-dot menu and click on base price history. This will open up a panel where I can see every detail of any base price changes that I have done. In addition to that, it will also show the changes that I've done in the minimum and maximum prices, right? So sometimes we may come and just change base price here and there just to see and, maybe play around, experiment with different prices and ranges. If you do that, it becomes a little difficult to keep a track. When you come here, you can just see when and how you changed your base price as well as your minimum and your maximum price. So that's a quick update on multi-calendar. That's primarily from the product end for today, folks. Just last bit, we have added support for new property management systems. PriceLabs integrates with more than 100 property management systems across the globe. And now we have added 7 more to that bank. If you use any of these property management systems or any of the other 100 property management systems that we connect with, you can seamlessly connect them to your PriceLabs account and then have a complete flow of managing your listings. We have help articles for each and every property management system. So you can find that in our help article section and just get on with the integration. That is it for today from our end, folks. Happy to take any questions or Thibaut, if there's anything that you want to add.
Yeah, so let's stop sharing the screen. And as seen again, we have Aditya here and Blas in the comment section. They've taken a lot of questions already. What I just want to do, I want to quickly go. I will go in the Q&A section and look at look at the questions you had and quickly share some replies because that may be of interest to you. And I try to group this by topics. So first, we had question about notes. Something I forgot to say is that I showed you notes can be left now on listing level. You showed this in a calendar, but I didn't tell you what's new. If you use group or accounts, it's really relevant. You have like a lot of listings. Imagine you have 10 listings. Sorry, in 5 of them in market A and 5 of them in market B, and you use groups to create different rules for all the different groups. You can now leave note on a group level, right? Again, imagine I want to tell Sophie, hey, I changed the strategy for this group. I can leave a note to her there and save an account level. Another question we had on that topic, let me take it. Question was from Yuriko, who was asking whether I can take a notes based on specific dates within the calendar. And Aditya indeed answered yes. Basically, when you set up date-specific overrides to change prices or minimum stay settings, you can also add notes under a section called reason for the override. In the answers also Aditya shared a link. And just quickly, are the notes linked to Google Calendar? No, not yet. Right? You get it by email. Quickly looking at, are there any question on notes before I change topics? I think that was about it. Okay. Now we also had questions about the market dashboard. So exactly as Rinul said, market dashboard is a paid product, right? If you want a market dashboard, for example, for Chicago, you can go and create one. You choose whether you want 1,000, 5,000, or 10,000 listings, right? And it will refresh the data every time you almost daily, basically, for your market dashboard. And you can really study it, and you get everything from market supply to data trends for the last 12 months or more, to even cancellation policies in that market, cleaning fees in that market. So it's very, very, very detailed snapshot of the market. So again, it's way more complete, as you could see, than market history, right? And the price starts at $9, $9.99, I think, $9 per month for one market dashboard. Other question. So again, what the market history you saw in neighborhood data, that's free. That's completely free. If you want, on top of this, a complete market dashboard, this one you have to pay for. So Adrian is asking whether, for example, the comp set, for example, when you compare yourself with in a market history, whether the view can be, I only want to compare myself with pools. The answer is yes, but for this, you need to create a market dashboard. In a market dashboard, you will have these filters, such as, number of bedrooms, pools, all kind of amenities are there, or even performance. I want to compare myself only with 4+, properties whose rating score is above 4.8, for example. I can create this in market dashboard, save that view, and that view then will be available, for example, in market history. So I can even compare then a listing against that view I created. Right now, it's going to be available all throughout your PriceLabs platform. Another question. Can historical data include local events, local weather, since fixed pricing? That's a good question. So local events, indeed, right? We have. If you go to the maybe we can share that. If you go to the your pricing calendar on the right-hand side, you will see something calendar, and here we list all local events we have for you. On top of this, if we missed out on something, you can tell us about an event. And what we'll do, our data science team will look at the event and look whether we saw that this event, for example, last year was big enough to change the pricing, and we'll take this into account. Yes. You want to show it, Medul, or not?
Yes, I just need a second.
Sure. So meanwhile, I'm taking.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Go ahead. Thanks.
Thanks. Okay. Okay, so this is a listing. So when we just saw this on Tipo screen as well. This is your pricing calendar. You can find individual events on dates from here. So any date that has a star mark, meaning there's an event here. So for example, here when I hover, you can see there's a Labor Day. If you want to look at all the events, then there's this section called event/holidays on the right side of your calendar again. You can click on view and it will show you a list of all the events that we are currently considering for your listing. You can add any feedback that you have for this event. And as Thibaut mentioned, you can also report a new event by clicking here. This will send a notification to our data science team. As Thibaut mentioned, our team will review it and then accordingly add it to the data. So hope this helps.
It does. It does. So the supply and demand data we showed obviously was in the market dashboard, right? So if you go to the market dashboard, you see the evolution of supply and evolution of demand now with booked nights, booked nights, reserved booked nights, in the market, for example. Yeah, last thing I want to talk about, I see there's all great questions, but I'm not sure we're still on time. Yeah, the question was also, it's not directly linked, but can you see price changes of listings near you? And the answer is yes, it's in neighborhood data, basically. You can see several things. You can see how the prices changed. You can go back to this. If you go to future prices, you see how prices were in the future, and how they what your price was compared with this. What we have, and you will keep an eye on it. If you go to competitor calendar, we also show you you can pick neighbor data, some competitors you want to follow, and you'll see that prices change. What we may be working on, but let's see, is indeed enable you to see how much these competitors you're tracking, by how much they've changed one day to another. I can't promise anything in terms of dates, but we just can tell you we may be working on tracking the evolution of specific competitors and their pricing, right? All right. Any other questions, anyone we need to take? We'll talk about. There's a question about the PMS we now support. As we said, I think we have like 120 now. We support, and the new ones we have here. We have 3 are PMS, book, click booking, hosted journey, RoomSoft IDEO booking. And on our website, if you go to the website, we go to resources, integrations, we have the whole list, the whole 1110 integration, right? The goal for an integration is basically if you have a PMS like this, it should be very straightforward. It's a job. We do this. We have a big integrations team doing this. That when you have a PMS, you can just connect PriceLabs to that PMS. You basically drop down, you pick the PMS you have, and we should be able, ask you from some username password just to connect both, and then we're then able to retrieve the listings you want. It could be audio listings, some of them, import them into PriceLabs, and if you want to, we can sync all of them or just the ones you want to sync, right, and pay for, right? So it's really you have you have integration team making that easy, and you have control over the process. All right, I think that's about it for me. Any other points for you, Michael?
No, Divo, I think we are good. Yeah, if anyone has any questions we didn't answer, they can always reach out to us at support@pricelabs.co. Yeah.
That's great. So what's going to happen? So see, this was recorded. I forgot to say so. So you'll get an email, I think, tomorrow with this recording. And again, if you need any help, support@pricelab.co, as Mabel says, is your way to go. Thank you so much for attending. There's still more than 50 of you. That's really fantastic. I hope you've seen, if you got the newsletter, you've seen we changed the format of newsletter. It's shorter now, and we have a video with a recap of what's new in 3 minutes. I'm curious, in a comment, if anybody has seen it, let me know what you think of it. It's been something we worked out in August to make things easier and more compact. Instead of having long blog posts, we have now a video. I hope it's useful. Yeah, we really want to try to make things easier for you and actionable, right? If it's going to take less time, we try to find ways. And another thing I want to say, obviously, this this webinar is in English, but as I said, we do this same webinar in 5 languages for the moment. Very soon, a 6th language. It's going to be live. All right. So once again, thank you everyone for attending. Adrian, thank you for attending this. If you want other trainings, we talk about the trainings, go to our website. There's all information and resources for the trainings. I can't recommend enough to you for you to do that. And I just hope you guys take care of you. Have a wonderful month of September that's coming up. And we talk to you soon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.